Suddenly, I thought about the leading members of Roy Davis's Pentecostal church that transitioned themselves to elders in the Billy Branham Pentecostal Tabernacle. They would have been in the clandestine meetings held by Roy Davis. Did they continue these meetings with the prophet? I remembered some articles that I found during the early years of the Ku Klux Klan in Georgia. At the time, Roy Davis was an official spokesman for the Klan and held meetings with Colonel William Joseph Simmons, the leader of the Ku Klux Klan during its 1915 rebirth. I never heard of Mr. Simmons and was quite surprised when I began to study who he was and what he stood for. A member of several secret societies, Simmons rebirthed the Ku Klux Klan in 1915 as a fraternal organization. I was also surprised to learn that the Ku Klux Klan began meeting as a Christian organization, and that in their lectures, Roy Davis and William Simmons promoted it as being Christian. I was most surprised that Simmons and Davis were traveling preachers, or evangelists, who were experienced promoters of fraternal orders or secret societies. Understanding that these movements were operating under the auspices of being Christian would become helpful in untangling the web of deceit as the facts critical to the message started to accumulate. Was the message movement also serving another purpose under the guise of Christianity? Learning how the Billy Branham Pentecostal Tabernacle formed was a critical milestone in my journey. It was something that I had always pictured to be a story-tale fable, with choirs of angels surrounding a meek and humble man as God Himself began molding a willing servant into a leader of many nations. Mostly, I had pictured scenes from the early church planted in my mind by the prophet himself in his sermons. Still, there was always a part of me that wanted to imagine other scenes surrounding the ones that the prophet had suggested. The facts that I had uncovered this far looked nothing like those scenes that Branham described, and the men who surrounded the prophet as the congregation transitioned to his own were far from angelic.